I actually would recommend if you're going to start adding some new habits into your life, do it little by little, because if you can be faithful with a little habit, like a 10-minute walk, a 5-minute stretch, deep breathing in the morning, reading for 10 minutes, like whatever it is, a little teeny, teeny, tiny habit. Maybe it's drinking one glass of water right when you wake up. If you can be faithful in little, you can be faithful in a lot. And that doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you drink a glass of water one time, then like the next day you can like drink the whole gallon. Welcome back everyone to Mission Mode. I'm Madeline Mack, your host. And on Mission Mode, I talk about the things that I am learning and trying to get better at for my mission to hopefully help you in yours. And I've been editing for the past, how long have I been editing for? 14 hours? No, 13 hours. I've put 13 hours into editing my next YouTube video, and it's on discipline. And I forgot lip gloss. It's okay. It's on discipline, and the 5 things that I do daily to be disciplined, I guess. And I thought I would explain them in a little bit more depth in a podcast, just because I kind of like to do that. I kind of like to like make a YouTube video and then like while it's top of mind, talk about it more. So that's what today's going to be about. If you are struggling with discipline, if you don't know how to develop it, if you think people are born with discipline, people are not, I mean, people are born with like tendencies. Like there are gifted people, there are talented people, but discipline is a skill. It is something that can be trained, that can be taught. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, well, David Goggins was just born like that. No, he wasn't. And he talks about that openly a lot. Like, talks about his past and like how he was super lazy and all these things and his family. And he was not born with that. And over time, he was like, no, I don't want this to be my story. Like he changed and started doing disciplined things. He got the crap out of his mind and replaced it with discipline. And in my video, I start off with point number 1 being, I'm going to talk about the 5 points, but point number 1 is, what even is discipline? Well, let me just tell you the 5 points. Okay, I'll say that first. So, number 1, what is discipline? Number 2, make it easy for yourself. Number 3, your why. Number 4, discipline gets easier as you go. Let time. And number 5, make it measurable. So that sounded really bad when I just said it, but it sounds better in my YouTube video. Anyways, starting off, number 1, what is discipline? In the Bible, it uses the word chasteneth, and I looked up like the Hebrew root of that, which is yasar, and that means, there's like a bazillion different words in that, but a word that really stuck out to me that was in the definition of yasar was to bind. And I thought of that as like, you know when you wake up in the morning and your bed's so comfortable and you're so warm, and getting out underneath your covers, like getting out of your covers is cold. And you gotta get up because your alarm's going off and you're like, no. And that little voice in the back of your head's going, hey, just hit the snooze. You can sleep for 10 more minutes. No. Because then that 10 minutes is going to turn into 20, and then 30, and then 40, and then an hour, and then 2 hours, and then 2.5 hours, and you're like, oh, poop. I overslept. And that little snooze monster is what you're going to bind. I think that, like, I thought it was interesting that they use the word bind, because you're binding that monster that's telling you to stay in bed. You're not giving it any more power. You're wrapping a rope around it, putting it in the corner of your mind, and getting up anyway. And I also like to think of it as, whenever I hear those thoughts of like, go back to sleep, it's so comfortable, go back to sleep, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. That is my cue to get up. Like, my cue to work out is, oh, I really don't want to work out. Okay, fine, I gotta go right now. Or my cue to like run up a hill is, I really don't want to run up that hill. That would suck. Oh crap, now I gotta run up the hill. Great, wonderful. Or like when you're running or walking or whatever, and you're like, I'm just gonna make it to that mailbox. And then you make it to that mailbox and you're like, I see another mailbox. And you keep running and you keep running and you keep running. Like, the thought of like not running to the next mailbox, You don't want to run to the next mailbox. That not wanting to run to the next mailbox for me is the cue that's like, go, you have to run to the mailbox now. And that's actually kind of dangerous because you can just like keep running. So like I limit myself to like maybe like 2 of those like extra added like, fine, I'll do another set, or I'll do 5 more reps, or like whatever. Like I only like limit myself a couple, because if you keep doing that, you can get kind of addicted and you just keep doing it, and then you have to use discipline to not be so disciplined. So bind was one of the words, and then another word, what was the other word? I don't remember the other word, but basically discipline, my definition of discipline, and I think a lot of people's definition of discipline, is just the ability to do something that you need to do despite how you feel. Like, oh, I have a to-do list. I need to do these things. I don't want to. I'm tired. I'm bored. I am sad. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm anxious. I'm whatever the negative emotion is. I'm so excited. I just can't think here. I can't sit still. Nope. You still gotta get the work done. And that is discipline to me. It's like whenever I really don't want to do something, but I do it anyway. That was me practicing discipline. So that's what discipline is. Doing something that you need to do no matter how you feel. And going on to the next point. Point number 2. I said discipline shouldn't be hard in my video. And I was inspired to say that because Lila Hormozi made a reel. It might have been a long form video. Layla. I've said her name wrong for like 6 years. Not 6 years, like 2 years. I don't even know. I've been saying her name wrong. I feel really bad. But Layla Hormozi, she said that discipline should not be hard. And when she first said that, I was like, what are you talking about? But she's right. Discipline should not be hard. If discipline is too hard, the things that you're doing to be disciplined is too hard. It's not working on your discipline, it's working on your ego. Like you're being like, I'm going to take, this is her example. She would take the hardest fitness classes just because they were the hardest, and like make herself hate discipline, make herself hate everything that she's doing. She's basically punishing herself. And she said, instead of thinking like that, I'm going to start thinking like a scientist. I'm going to figure out the things that are actually going to move the ball forward, not just punish myself every single day. So she's the scientist, not the judge. The judge like punishes. And I was thinking like, okay, how can you like practically make it easier? But it's not, discipline never gets really easy. You just kind of acclimate to it. But if you start off flying to the moon and back on day 1 when you haven't ever stuck to a habit ever before, that's going to be quite difficult. Then you're going to associate negative feelings with that, and then you're never going to be able to be disciplined ever again because you're going to hate it so much and put so much negative energy to it that you're just going to self-sabotage yourself. So for me, before I even think about adding another habit or adding anything, I use these 3 P's. So the first one is purge, the second one is plan, and the third one is prep. So to purge, you cannot add anything else. You cannot add even a morsel of discipline into your brain if there's a bunch of crap in there. And I heard David Goggins on Joe Rogan's podcast he made last year say, like, your mind's a garage. And if your garage is filled with cardboard boxes and kids' toys from 20 years ago and dirt bikes and cars, and not cars, you can't even fit your car in it because there's so much crap in there, just like trash in your garage, like the most cluttered, disgusting, Christmas decoration filled, broken thing ever. You can't even walk through it. Pretend that's your mind. You cannot add a single ounce of discipline into that mind because it's so messy. There's no room. You're like always constantly thinking about your schedule, and you have to feed the kids. You got to go to your 3 jobs. You got to do this other thing. You have to go to the doctor's appointment with the kid. You have to take this kid to practice. You have to be with your husband for a little bit. You have to make dinner. You have to plan dinner. You have to plan out your outfit for the next day. Like, and then like, oh, I got to go to McDonald's. Oh, I got to go get a Starbucks. Oh, I got to go to Chipotle. Oh, I'm going to watch Netflix. I'm going to listen to this really bad music. I'm going to listen to this really silly podcast that's filling my mind with trash. There's nothing wrong with like entertaining yourself, but if you're constantly filling your mind with like scrolling on TikTok every 5 seconds between your tasks and doing all these things, that's cluttering your mind. And for me to declutter my mind, I literally will physically clean my room, physically pick up and put things back and organize things, which I do every single day. Like, I cannot function if my room has some sweatpants and a like pair of leggings on the floor right now, and I'm like, why did I not put that up before I started filming? Because it's like messing with me. But cleaning up throughout your day and throughout your house, throughout the day and throughout the weeks, little by little. Journaling really helps to clean out, like, okay, what are these thoughts that I'm having so much? Why am I so constantly feel like I'm being fogged up? And like having a deep conversation with someone and really thinking things out helps me a lot. And I know it's very vague, but you have to declutter your mind before you can even begin to think of becoming disciplined. So that's purge. And then number 2 was plan. Plan what habits you're going to do. What goals are you working towards? Maybe you're not working towards anything. Maybe you just want to always be prepared, which is something that I kind of think like I just always want to be prepared. Like, you never know when your opportunity will come up. So why the heck would you slack? Like, the people that train for a marathon, they train, they are very disciplined in it. They train, the marathon happens, and then they're like, I can relax now. And it's like, that was another thing David Goggins and Joe Rogan are talking about. I was like, the thought of like relaxing makes me really nervous. And it's also something that I need to work on, because you do need to relax your mind and to take rest in order. And I made a whole podcast about rest and a whole YouTube video about rest if you want to hear more about that. But if I were to always be like training for a 5K or whatever, and then after the 5K, I relaxed, you don't know what opportunity could be lying around the corner after that 5K that you weren't prepped for, that if you had kept training. And this goes for anything, not even just training. It goes for studying, goes for your work. If you're always on top of it at your work, if you're always on top of it with your kids, if you're always on top of it with your husband or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your wife, if you're always on top of it in every area of your life, which is hard because it's physically impossible to be on top of every single area in your life, because when you focus on one thing, other things are going to suffer, which is a whole nother topic, but it's fine to do that because that's just how it is. But always be prepared. And planning, I got on a whole tangent about what your goals are. So to plan for that would be, okay, the habits that I need to have in order to make sure that I am in shape is I need to plan out my entire week of workouts so that I'm not waking up at 6 or 7 or 4 or whatever time and thinking I need to work out. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have a workout ready for today. Okay, I'm just not going to work out. If you don't plan ahead what you're going to do, if you don't plan ahead your months, if you don't plan ahead your years, if you don't plan ahead your days, your afternoons, you're setting yourself up for failure. You're making discipline much harder for yourself. And then you're prepping for the plans that you made. So an example of that would be meal prep. Okay, I need to start eating healthier. That's the plan. Meal prep is the prep that you're going to do for that plan, because you're prepping yourself ahead of time so that when you get hungry, you're not going to reach for the microwave weird frozen meal. You're going to reach for the meal prepped meal that you made that is good and has good macros and is applying to your goals. So that's what I mean. And like another really good way to prep is like if you need to work out in the morning, lay out your workout clothes in front of your bed. So when you wake up, you see them on the ground and you're like, okay, I know exactly what I'm wearing. I don't have to scramble around in the dark and trying to figure out what I'm going to wear. And I'm not going to be tempted to get back into bed. Or like I have even slept in my gym clothes before working out. And you'd be so surprised how much just that little step, just getting that done, just prepping that. I mean, I picked out my outfit before school every single day of school. And I had done it since I was little, to the point where like people would say, I didn't know what to wear this morning. I was scrambling around, and I'd be like, what? Because some days I didn't, and I was always much more stressed in the morning. Or I'd lay out an outfit and not try it on the day before, and then I'd wake up the morning of and realize, this is not cute. I need to figure this out real fast. I had so many mornings scrambling, and I should have prepared better the night before and actually tried on the outfit, and laid it out and known that, like, okay, this is a cute outfit. That's just like a silly example of prepping. But when you purge, get rid of the junk in your mind, declutter your mind, declutter your house, declutter your flipping gym so you can actually work out in there. And then you plan, okay, what workouts am I going to do? Do I need to start eating more protein? Do I need to mark this new schedule on my calendar so that I can get my reading in at night? Whatever that you need to plan for your habits and for your new goals, and then prep for those. Okay, if you need to read your book every single night, maybe put your book on your bed. Put your book under your pillow, so whenever you're about to get into bed, you lift up your pillow and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to read. Let me read real quick. And then, yeah, so purge, plan, then prep is making discipline easy for yourself. Like, that's the whole point, because yes, it's still going to be hard. Like, the amount of times I do not want to work out and I have my outfit laid out all perfect and I slept in my clothes and I got my protein shake ready in the morning. I got my food meal prepped and I'm like, I really don't want to work out. And I really, really kind of want to eat a cheeseburger instead of my meal plan that's on my plan for my goals. Like, it's still going to be hard, but doing the things, preparing yourself ahead of time, it's just preparing yourself. It's almost like you're a nail. Like, first you gotta purge off the old nail polish. Okay. Get the nail polish remover. Remove the old nail polish. You gotta get the drill. That's the prep. Okay, you gotta prep the base. Prep the base with the drill. File your nail down. And then put the base coat on. Alright. Get a little more, no, that'd be prepping. Purging would be taking the nail polish off. Planning would be filing down the nail and picking out what size you want, picking out what color you want, picking out the shape, and then prepping, base coat. You can't put a nail on without your base coat, you know what I'm saying? So think of yourself as a nail. Think of yourself as a nail. All the people that work in the nail salons, shout out. Okay, you guys invented discipline. Anyways, yeah. Number 2, make it easier for yourself. And then number 3, you need a why. So in my video, I kind of like go through my day a little bit in the middle of the video, talking about like why I do the things that I do, because I have such strong whys behind the things that I'm, quote, disciplined at, that it makes it so much easier to be disciplined at them, because I have done these things so many times that I realize the reward of them, and if I don't do these certain things, I will feel worse. And I like to feel good. That is a huge motivator for me. And I know it's not motivation, I know. But the thought of like, okay, I'm going to do this workout and I'm going to feel so dang good afterwards. That makes me do the workout because I'm looking forward to being able to like chill. And whenever I'm eating right, which I mean, I will, if I'm not on 75 hard, I eat very good throughout the week, and then like on the weekend I'll have like a cheeseburger and a milkshake and a cookie or whatever, and which is totally fine. Okay, 80-20 rule, that's totally fine. But if I eat too much like that, it kind of messes with my head, and that's why I lost my train of thought. Oh, my why for eating the way that I do and getting enough protein in and getting enough carbs in is because, okay, I have a vision of like, I have a body goal. I have a strength goal. If I want to be stronger, if I want to get bigger muscles, I need to fuel myself. Like, I gotta eat a lot of food. And those foods are very high calorie, very protein dense foods that are not empty calories. And those are applying to my goals, applying to my why of I want to be so strong, so powerful, and so fit that when I am 80, I can pick up my great-grandkids and run around with them and do silly mobility challenges like I make my grandma do. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want longevity. I want structure. I do not want to be fragile. So that's another, like, why do I work out? I work out because it makes me I feel so good working out. I am addicted to working out. And if I don't work out, I feel terrible. And also, a huge, huge why is I am stronger and I am able to serve the people around me better. Because, like, we are here to serve people. Please God, serve people. Like, if you live your life by those two rules, you're gonna be flippin' fine. And all of these things just have a why. Like, the reason I read my Bible every single day is, number one, I will feel so bad if I don't. Like, not because I missed it. I feel bad because I missed it. I was supposed to. Shoot. No, like, I legit, like, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, I feel cluttered. I feel like I can't focus. Like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, if I don't read my Bible and take that time to be quiet and in the Word and with God, like, my entire day is gonna be jacked up. And if I some reason do miss it, I have to take like at least 5 minutes or something, like in the car or like walking somewhere, and like look at my app on my phone that has Bible verses and like read them to myself, or even just like repeat a Bible verse that I've memorized to myself. Because like if I don't fill myself with the Word, I like lose direction. It is truly one of the most important things that I do. It is the most important thing that I do in my day, is reading my Bible, I think. It has changed my life in so many ways, and like all the things that I'm talking about right now too are like, I know I bring up like David Goggins and Layla Hermosi and Alex Hermosi and Andy Frisella, but like all these things are biblical. Like Andy Frisella always uses the example of discipline being like acclimating to water. Like if you jump into a cold pool, it's like freezing. It's so cold that you are like so uncomfortable, you're shivering, you're screaming or whatever. But then 10 minutes later, you're chilling. You're like swimming around, it's fine, you're splashing around. Like you acclimated to the water. Same thing goes for habits. If you jump into a pool of water, or not a pool of water, a pool of habits, okay? Let's say you like started doing 75 hard. Little by little, day by day, action by action, you're going to become acclimated to that. It's not going to get easier, but it's just going to become the new normal, the new baseline. And it's like, okay, cool, this is just what I do. Like for me, like doing 75 hard for the fourth time, I'm like, this is just what I do. Like it's not a big deal. Sometimes it's like, oh crap, I forgot to read, or I need to read, it's really late right now, or like I've had to get up out of bed and like take my picture, like little things like that. But it's not too terrible because I have acclimated to it. And when you raise your baseline like that, little by little, that reminds me of Jesus saying, oh, what is it on? This is so good. I've literally been saying this to myself. Little verse. Sorry, I just made that little tongue clicking noise. I hate when people say that. Okay. Oh gosh. He who has faith in little, I think that's what it is. He who has faith in little. Okay, he who is faithful in a very little is faithful also in much, and he who is dishonest in very little is also dishonest in much. Sorry, that took me so long to find that out. Luke 16:10. So, I actually would recommend, if you're going to start adding some new habits into your life, do it little by little, because if you can be faithful with a little habit, like a 10-minute walk, a 5-minute stretch, deep breathing in the morning, reading for 10 minutes, like whatever it is, a little teeny tiny habit. Maybe it's drinking 1 glass of water right when you wake up. If you can be faithful in little, you can be faithful in a lot. And that doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you drink a glass of water one time, then like the next day you can like drink the whole gallon. Which I haven't always drank a gallon a day, but when I don't drink a gallon a day, like I literally do not feel right. Like I do not feel right. And I've been drinking a gallon of water a day, I think since about junior year, senior year? Maybe, I think it was, I don't know. A lot of people freak out whenever I say I drink a gallon of water, and I'm like, what? You acclimate to it, but if you haven't ever drank a gallon of water, ever, if you don't drink water at all, and you start out drinking a gallon of water a day, it's gonna feel bad. So maybe start with like a liter, maybe like 2 liters, half a gallon, and be faithful in little. Do that every day, and then add a little bit more, and then add a little bit more, and like habit stacking. And then eventually you look around yourself and you're like, oh, I wake up early, I go to bed early, I wake up and read my Bible, I don't get on my phone in the morning, I pray, I eat healthy, I go straight to work, I work hard when I'm working, I'm effective, I'm focused. Like, you start like stacking all these habits that you have. I can work out, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. But that doesn't happen in a week. That doesn't happen in a month. That happens over years. You guys, like, I have been working on this since I was in like 7th or 8th grade. I don't know. It was like 7th grade. Like 7th or 8th grade. And I started listening to Andy Frisella in like 8th grade, 7th grade. And then I was like, okay, Rocket Fuel. And then I started listening to all these gurus and stuff. And like, thanks to my dad, because my dad told me about Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and all these guys. They're so cool. And that like totally changed my life. But I was like so young and impressionable that I almost forget how I used, like, that I wasn't always like this. Because I mean, I would love to have like, I'm not saying this is like terrible, the worst thing you could ever do, this is so bad, but I was also a child. Like, I would love to have like a Pop-Tart and some ice cream at night, and like every night I had like a dessert. And I love to watch, I still love to watch Dragon Ball Z. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in a long time, but I would literally watch Dragon Ball Z. I would turn on Dragon Ball Z right when I woke up before going to school. I woke up at like 6 a.m. back then, 8th grade. I would wake up, watch Dragon Ball Z, get ready for the day, eat my food while watching Dragon Ball Z, go to school, think about Dragon Ball Z, come home, and then like do an ab workout or something in my room while watching Dragon Ball Z, do my homework while watching Dragon Ball Z. Like, I was always like kind of distracted. And like, I also really liked Batman the Animated Series and Star Wars, and I also watched, what else did I watch? My point is, like, I watched a lot more movies, I watched a lot more shows. Oh, I love Friends, because I didn't have any friends, so I had to watch Friends, because then it made me feel like I had friends. So I'd watch Friends, and like I watched the whole entire show like 3 times, early high school. And oh, I loved The Walking Dead during COVID. Loved it. Watched The Walking Dead, I think, twice. I used to watch shows a lot, and now it's like, I like shows. I think some shows are very cool in entertainment, but it's not even that like I don't want to watch shows anymore. I do not want to watch shows anymore. It's because I have reiterated into my mind over and over, day after day after day after day after day after day after day, saying, in order to get this goal, I have to do this. In order to get this goal, I have to do this. In order to get this goal, I have to do this. That means that I'm going to have to sacrifice some time that I usually spend watching a TV show throughout the week, or while I was doing my makeup, or when I was making food, or whatever. I'm going to replace that with something that's going to teach me. I'm going to replace that with no sound at all, silence and thinking in my mind of ideas. I'm going to replace that with the time that I'd spend at night like chilling. I'm going to replace that with reading my books, making sure that I'm getting that in. And at the same time that I was watching those TV shows, I was watching Andy Frisella, and but it was less than it is now, because now my entertainment almost is these guys, but at the same time I'm listening and watching them, I'm like taking notes, or I'm like writing little reminders into my phone, and like, okay, I can use this for a piece of content, or I can use that. I need to sharpen that over here in this part of my life. I need to implement that P&L over here. Like, I need to make sure that I know how to read a P&L. Like, I remember like hearing Layla Hermosi talking about a P&L, and I was like, what the heck is a P&L? It's a profit and loss statement. It's not really that big of a deal, but I was like, what is that? And then I was like, okay, I better take some action on that. But in the beginning, so like 8th grade Madeline would watch Friends while getting ready or eating, and then maybe watch like an episode of Andy Frisella. Now it's like Madeline now listens and watches all these people all day long, but it's not really all day long. It's just like, I watch shows whenever I make breakfast, eat breakfast, make lunch, eat lunch, make dinner, eat dinner. So whenever I eat and cook, that's when I'm listening to things, or driving. But before it was like I'm watching entertainment. Now it's like I'm trying to learn. Which also, you can fill your mind with too much stuff, and like, if you are filling your mind with like countless podcasts after podcast after podcast after podcast, and you're not taking any action on them, you have to be a doer of the word. You have to be a doer. Like, whenever I read the Bible in the morning, I'm like, okay, can I use this practically today? Is there something from this that I can apply to a lesson or tell someone else about or apply to my life? Or is this answering the question of, I don't know how to respond to that person, and this is going to tell me how to respond to that person? Okay, then I'm going to act on that and be a doer of the word. Same thing goes for podcasts and YouTube videos and all the things. Like, I'm going to take notes, I'm going to make checklists, I'm going to make to-dos, I'm going to take action on these things that they're saying, because if not, then I am just watching entertainment all day, just like I was watching Friends. And there is something to be said about watching movies and entertainment to get inspiration. 1,000 bazillion %. I've gotten some of my best ideas from watching flippin' movies, but like the movies that I like to watch are not the mind-numbing, like, oh my gosh, this plot has been shown over and over and over and over and over again in a bunch of different other rom-coms or whatever. And like, I like either like Star Wars nerdy movies or flippin' like 2001: A Space Odyssey, and you're like, what the heck is even going on? And it like totally messes up your brain. Like, those are the kind of movies I like to watch. And I also still very rarely watch movies. Last movie I watched was Groundhog Day with Tyson 2 weeks ago. So, what's the last show I watched? What was the last TV show I seriously sat down and watched? It was a Star Wars show. Hold on. New Star Wars show with kids on spaceship. Skeleton Crew. That came out in, released December 2024. So I watched, the last time I actually sat down and watched every single episode of a show was early 2025, so last year. And it's not that I think the shows are bad, it's like I have changed, it's almost like a change in heart. It's like what happens to you after you like receive Jesus into your life. Like, I have a change in heart, like I just don't, like I'm like, crap, and I don't want to like say this. I do not want to make anyone feel bad for watching shows. My mom is extremely productive, okay? Our house is spotless, she works out, she can do pull-ups, she's jacked, she's amazing, she eats well, my mom's so inspirational. She likes to watch a television show at the night times. That's not a big deal at all. I'm not saying you don't have to, I was trying to give the example of like little by little, weird stuff happens to you. Like little by little, little actions compound. Day by day, little teeny tiny things that you do. If you have faith in a little, it will compound into something greater. So for me, that example was watching self-development content was once a little teeny tiny side hobby. Now it's like the only thing that I want to watch and fill my mind with is like a flippin' cowboy sitting on his porch talking about life lessons. It's like, like that's what I genuinely want to watch and fill my mind with instead of the entertainment. And the funny thing was, like, I don't know why I had to watch Friends 3 times. I mean, I knew what was going to happen. It was like, it was a comfort. In times that I was stressed, in times that I was avoiding something, in times that I was avoiding a conversation, in the times that I was avoiding work that I needed to do, I would pop on a show and escape into my comfort, because I had watched that episode 3 flippin' times. I don't need to watch it again, but I was searching for that feeling. I was searching for the feeling of having friends, so I'd watch Friends. And yeah, that's a whole other tangent. I've went on a very, very deep tangent on point number 3, trying to find your why. This has not helped at all. Basically, if you don't know why you're going to become disciplined, if you're not attaching it to like, I would rather not be laying on my deathbed at 70 years old thinking of all the things that I could have done in my life and didn't do. I would rather not be filled with that amount of regret. So I'm just going to do the most amount of stuff that I can while I'm young, while I'm energetic, while I'm have the least amount of responsibilities in my life right now at 20 years old. I'm going to take the actions, you know what I'm saying? That's my why. Like, but not, that is part of my why. There's lots of things in my why, but you have to really spend some time and be like, okay, what do I really want in life? Why do I really want that in life? How do I get there? Oh, it's going to require me being disciplined. So when you don't want to be disciplined, when you rather lay in bed and not get up at 4 a.m., and then you remember, oh wait, shoot, there's people counting on me. I have to get food on the table. Like, I need to be able to support a future family. let's get up, shall we? So that's the why. That was number 3. I went on like 20 million tangents within that. Sorry about that. Please don't worry if you watch a TV show and enjoy it. Okay, live your life. Okay, I'm not saying never ever watch a movie or never watch a TV show. I'm just saying what's happened to me. Like, I just don't like to as much anymore. Unless it's really good. I mean, if they came out with a Darth Vader TV show, like, when he, like, after he said no, whenever he was getting off, like, after he was transformed into the suit version of Darth Vader in Revenge of the Sith, or not Revenge of the Sith. Is that Revenge of the Sith? Yes, it is. Like, a TV show of that? Oh my gosh, I'd watch the heck out of that. Like, that would be the coolest thing ever. So it's like, I'm not against TV shows. I'm just like, I will never, ever care about Love Island. I don't even know what happens on that show. I don't know. But I think it's brain rot. And if you watch Love Island, I'm not judging, but I'm judging a little bit. Just, I don't know. I just heard Dave Ramsey today. He was like talking about people. Here's the thing. If you have your flippin' crap together, watch all the Love Island that you want. His point was, the reason I said that was Dave Ramsey on his show was like giving an example of a couple that was really struggling financially, and he was like, turn off the island. Who cares if they get kicked off island? Like, turn the TV off. You don't need to be watching no Love Island. And I thought it was really funny, so I just brought that up. But like, I don't know. I've never seen it, so maybe I'd be absolutely addicted to it. I can't really knock it until I try it, but I'm not gonna try it. So, not going to watch that. But I say that, and I have watched flippin' Dr. Steve Brule, and put Dr. Steve Brule in my... So I am a hypocrite. I apologize, okay? I did not see the log that was in my own eye. Watch your television show, just get your stuff done first. That's moral of the story. Okay, moving on, Madeline, moving on. Number 4. This is kind of what I was discussing earlier in number 3, but you have to let time. You have to be disciplined. You have to give it time. I feel like I see so many people who text me and they'll send me like a picture of all their meal prep. And they'll be like, I'm meal prepped. I'm so excited. I'm going to be so disciplined. And next Sunday, there's no meal prep picture. And the next Sunday, there's definitely no meal prep picture. And the next Sunday, I'm like, hey, how's the meal prep? And going, oh, well... I'm laughing because Lexi did that. That's who I'm talking about. Lexi, get your macros in, girl. Get your protein in. Go meal prep. Because you have to give it a little bit of time to make it like a flippin' habit. And so many people, they will do their habit one time, or they want to make it a habit. They'll start doing it and they realize, oh, this kind of sucks. It's really hard. I'm just not going to do it. And they're not using their discipline to do the thing that they need to do despite how they feel. And the more you do that, you will acclimate to the water and that will become your new baseline, but it does take time. So if it's still feeling really hard and you're purging and planning and prepping all the things, if it's still feeling like extremely difficult, maybe, number 1, maybe it's you've made you're flying to the moon and back, which you don't want to do that. You want to start off small, but also it probably just hasn't been enough time, because yes, working out for me is hard still. Today I did not want to lift back, but the pain, I've associated more pain with not working out than with working out. That takes time. I mean, actually though, it kind of depends. It doesn't really... See, like, I'm a goofball. I'm like messing up my own dang point, because let's say like you're going to make yourself sick if you keep continuing down the path that you're continuing down. I mean, you could flip that switch like that if a doctor showed you an example of someone that was unfortunate and didn't quit doing the bad habits that you're doing. Then you'd be like, oh, and then you'd immediately stop. But even then, like, you might fall back into it. So, like, I don't know. I don't really know what I'm saying. Now I'm just rambling again. But everything takes time. Anything that's good takes time, and anything that's good and worthwhile is hard. And discipline is hard, and it's a hard skill to develop, and it's a hard skill to keep. You have to practice it every single day. Yeah, you can maybe have a day here and there, but Where's the limit? Like, because I've definitely been like, okay, it'd be fine if I didn't. I'm looking at birds outside my window. There's like a bunch of the same kind of bird in a tree. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I got really distracted. Okay, an example would be like reading a book. For some reason, like if I'm not on 75 hard, sometimes I have a really hard time making sure that I read every single day. And if I'm like, oh crap, I'm too busy today, I'm just not gonna read today. Where's the limit of me stopping, like, the next day, being like, oh crap, I forgot to read today, I'll read tomorrow. And then I'll read tomorrow, and then I'll read tomorrow. And that's why, for me, if I don't do something every day, even if it's just like, if I said to read 10 pages and I don't have enough time for 10 pages and I just read one, which I'm not doing that on 75 hard, okay? I can't fail 75 hard. But, like, let's say on a normal day that's not 75 hard or whatever, if I just read one of those 10 pages instead of not reading at all, that would be helping my discipline and my habit, because that would be telling my mind, okay, like, I kind of did that, and, like, this is still building momentum. Though it was smaller, but still building momentum. And that is the whole thing. You want to build momentum. And that's why 75 hard is such a good idea, because it builds momentum like no other. When you do it right and you get to the end, you're like, I don't want to stop. Like, you feel so good and you feel like you're on top of the world, because you are. Like, you've built up the momentum. You've done all the things that you needed to do in order to get to your goals and get to the 75th day. And it's like you have a rocket propeller, but it's so easy to lose. Even just like 1 or 2 days. But still, it is so important to rest. That is one thing with 75 hard, is not really allow your body to rest at all. Like when I flippin' rolled my ankle the second time I did it, and I kept working out, and I had to like swim, and I had to walk, but, oh, this was so silly. It was healing, but I wanted to paint. I was doing a painting at the time, so I would stand for a good, like, 4 hours. So I would swim, and then do, like, weights, and then I would stand for, like, 4 hours, and then my foot was so swollen, and so purple, and so blue, and black, and blue, and all the things, and I was like, I need to rest. So that was one thing. 75 hard doesn't really allow you to rest very well. Maybe I shouldn't have been standing while painting with a rolled ankle. But anyways, you gotta build that momentum, and that takes time. That's my point. And I've, again, drugged this out way too long. I'm sorry. Number 5, measurable. This is something that is so important that I feel like I don't really hear very many people talk about. I mean, people do talk about it, but not with this, really. Measure like what you're doing. So, for example, let's say you are going to start reading 10 pages every single day. Like, on 75 hard, you're just doing that. Write on your to-do list to read 10 pages every single day. Actually, I lied. Auntie Priscilla does talk about this. Let me just keep talking. But over time, as you check off day by day by day by day by day by day by day, you get to a day and you're like, why is nothing working? Like, this is taking too long. I feel like a loser. You can flip back through those pages and see, wait a minute, no, I've been putting in the work. This is 50 consecutive days reading 10 pages a day. I'm fine. I'm doing what I need to do. I just need to let time, and it'll all come to fruition. And that is why measuring your discipline habits is so important, and like measuring your workouts and tracking your weights and tracking how many reps did you do last week? Can I do more this week? Can I add more weight? Because those little wins, when you do more reps, when you do more reps, when you add more weight, you're like telling your body and your mind and your soul, like, I am working on myself and I'm actually becoming better and I'm actually able to measure my progress. That is a huge part of discipline. And it's all about making it, quote, easier and seeing yourself actually getting those wins on a day-by-day basis. Just like seeing a fully checked off to-do list is like the best feeling ever. Especially when it was so hard to get everything done and you flippin' did it and you're like, let's go. That's a win right there. And you can like go to sleep knowing like, okay, I did every single thing I was gonna do. Single thing I said I was gonna do despite how I felt. Let's do it again tomorrow. So those are the things. I need to stop rambling because I really rambled a lot. I'm sorry. I hope that was informational and helpful. But a little recap. There's a feather on my pants. I have a feather. Anyways, Number 1. So all the 5 points were: 1, defining discipline. Discipline is doing what you said or what you need to do despite how you feel. Number 2, make it easier for yourself. Purge, plan, prep. You got to do those before you add anything into your lifestyle. Number 3, what is your why? And then I went on to a very long television tangent and stuff. Sorry about that. But what is your why? And I wrote this down on a piece of paper. Like, for me to read the Bible is, I don't want to waste what God has so graciously given me. He has sacrificed his own son for me, if we're crying out loud. That means that our lives are valuable. Someone paid the ultimate price so you could be here. Why did I not say that earlier? I would have saved us a whole tangent. I'm sorry. But, okay. Number 4, discipline gets easier as you go because you're building momentum. Discipline, over time, will build up into momentum. And number 5, make it measurable. So, those are the 5 things I feel like if you can do those in that order, understanding what is discipline. 2, decluttering, planning, and prepping. 3, giving yourself a why. Okay, like, why am I doing this? 4, letting time take its time, okay? Because I've been doing this for like 6 years, 7 years, and like really making sure that I'm doing the things that I need to be doing. And 5, measuring that. Like, I can go back to my little to-do list when I was in 8th grade and see like the things that I was doing, because I literally would write. I've had to-do lists since I was a little baby girl. I love me a to-do list, even if it said go play outside for a second. Like, I would write that down. So that's like a measurable thing. Measure your workouts. Like, I've measured my lifting for the past like 3 years, and I can go back and be like, wow, I could only do that amount of weight for that many reps. That's crazy. And that gives you a little boost of energy and helps with the fatigue of doing the same boring, mundane things over and 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 over again. Because that's what it's about. So I hope that was helpful and not too rambly. I feel like my podcast is kind of rambly. I'm sorry. If it is, just yell at me in the comments and tell me that I need to be better, and I need to be better anyways, so it's fine. Everything's fine. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope this helps you with your week and your months and years and the rest of your life. So have a great rest of your Monday or whenever you're watching this. And thank you so much for listening. If you made it to the end, you're flipping awesome. So I appreciate you listening to me ramble. That was mission mode for today. Peace out. Bye.